So, for the past 5 years, I've been heavily addicted to weed. For about 2 years, I started smoking when I was like 15, but that was like recreationally and with friends. For about 2 years, though, once I was about 18, I started smoking to feel good. I mean, I started smoking the moment I woke up, and when I started to come down, I'd smoke again. And I'd do that throughout the whole day until the day ended. And then I would go to sleep and wake up and repeat the process the next day. And I was going through weed really quick, so I decided to switch to dabs. And that might have been my downfall. Honestly, I think even just starting to smoke weed how it was my downfall. And I did replace cigarettes with it. I quit cigarettes, and that kind of was what I replaced it with. So fast forward to dabs 2 years after that. And now I'm smoking dabs every day, doing the same thing but with dabs. And I did this for 3 years. So 3 years go by that I'm just smoking dabs all day long. And I got to a point recently where I've had enough. What ended up happening is my brain started to function differently. I started to feel a lot different. That kind of atmospheric vibe that life used to have was no longer there. I no longer felt that vibe anymore, and I wanted it back. I couldn't even focus on music anymore, and I used to love music. In fact, weed used to make me appreciate music even more. It used to amplify it. I got to the point where I wasn't getting high anymore. I was just getting regular. I would smoke just to feel okay, and I couldn't even get like sober. When I stopped smoking, it wasn't me being sober. It wasn't me, the natural me. It was just me withdrawing again. It was just me feeling like I needed it. And I would get physical withdrawals. I would not have an appetite. My stomach would hurt. I'd get headaches. I wouldn't be able to sleep at night. All kinds of symptoms. And it's real. People say weed isn't addictive. It is very addictive. You can get addicted to anything. People get addicted to coffee. Everyone's addicted to sugar that I know. We all eat sugar in America. Things are addictive. You can't deny that. Especially when you're using it as a coping mechanism, or if you're doing it every day, all day for years. So I had become extremely dependent on this substance, and I didn't want to be anymore. And today is, I believe, my fifth day that I have not smoked a thing. To be honest with you, I took some mushrooms and I had a little epiphany, and I decided, you know what, when I wake up tomorrow, I'm not gonna smoke. I decided that's it. I'm done. I'm not gonna smoke anymore. This is it's ruining my life, and I want to claim my life back. I woke up that morning and I was really used to smoking a dab every day before work because I needed to be high to go to work. And even after I got at work and I'd come start to come down, I would want to smoke again. I'd go somewhere so I could smoke real quick. I'd go take a break to go get high so that I'd come back to work and be functional. And I know that just was not healthy, and I shouldn't have even. No one should be high at work. You shouldn't be high at work. That's your job. Um, I decided to take a dab, and it was probably the stupidest mistake I've made in a long time. I took a dab. I went to work, and I was like, "Shit, why did I do that?" I was like, "I don't even want to be high right now." It stuck with me. The epiphany I had stuck. I didn't even want to be high. I was upset at myself for smoking. I was upset that I was high. I wanted to sober up, and it was making me super lazy. I realized that's why I was so lazy and lethargic. That's why I was so unmotivated. That's why I was sitting around in work and not doing my work, and I knew it was having a negative impact on me. And from that point on, throughout the day, once I came down, I wanted to smoke again, just so it wasn't that I wanted to be high, and that's how it's been. I wasn't smoking because I wanted to be high. I was smoking because I didn't want to feel like shit. I didn't want to feel how I was feeling. I wanted to feel okay and functional, so I would smoke. And what sucked about that is I would smoke to for those reasons, and then I would be high and I'd be upset that I was high. I didn't want to be high. So throughout the day, I just had to kind of stick with it. I talked to my friends, my family. They all kind of supported me and told me to just stay strong. So I didn't smoke anymore. I smoked that morning. That was, I think, Wednesday morning. Haven't smoked since, and today's Monday night. The next few days were even harder because I woke up, of course, withdrawing and needing the dab, and I didn't. I went to work and I was pretty irritable. I was stressing out. I couldn't eat. I had no appetite. Just kind of had to force myself to eat and stuff. And It went for about 3 days, maybe four, that I was still feeling some serious withdrawals. I was still experiencing that the stomach ache and the unhappiness. That's one thing, is I would be very unhappy, and not only unhappy and like depressed feeling, but all the things that I used to love doing, like playing video games, skateboarding, hanging out with my friends, that didn't sound fun to me anymore. I no longer wanted to do it. I was just I'm like this like apathetic loser because I'm high all the time. And and that is also part of the withdrawals. Like when I would smoke to make myself want to do those things. I would smoke to make myself feel happy and to make myself motivated. Not really motivated, but to make myself enjoy the things that I used to do, that I used to enjoy. So when I would not smoke, when I'd be withdrawing, I wouldn't want to do any of those things. They would sound terrible. Music sounds terrible. I don't care about music. Video games don't sound fun at all. Hanging out with my friends, why would I want to be grumpy around my friends? To all those things just didn't sound fun. I'd be sitting on the couch here doing nothing. That's it. And I was really sick of that. I was really unhappy with myself and the way I was living. And I knew, like, the reason I kept going for so long is because I knew the withdrawals were a thing. I knew I was going to have to go through several days of suffering to get out of it. And that's what really made me not want to do it. That's what kind of kept holding me back. But I realized, like, it's either that or keep giving in, keep smoking to make myself feel better, keep smoking to end the suffering, and then have to keep doing it again and doing it again. And I'm just perpetuating the cycle. So I realized that there had to come a point where I just had to stop and go through whatever I had to go through to end that shit. So I did. Today is, I think, my fifth day, and I feel fucking great. I mean, there's still little effects. I even sometimes still feel kind of high. I think there's just because there's so much THC in my system still. But to be honest, I feel so much better than I used to. That little like atmospheric feeling of life is starting to come back. I'm starting to enjoy life again. I'm starting to get that like adventurous feeling again. I'm starting to like really take in all the scenery. All my senses are heightened again. It's just it's I'm super thankful. I mean, the only person I have to be thankful for is myself because I did it. I helped myself, and I'm proud of myself. I guess is what I should say. And I know that there are other people out there struggling with the same thing, so that's why I'm making this video. Is you're not alone. Just know that you're not alone. You're not the only person going through that. And yes, it is hard, but you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. Trust me. It's a struggle, and I understand that. What I ended up having to do was just kind of, I don't know if you've ever meditated or anything like that. You just kind of got to shut your mind off. You got to stop thinking. You got to just, all those thoughts that come into your mind that say, oh, I need to smoke and stuff, you just got to redirect it and think of something else. I know it sounds a lot simpler. I know it's easier said than done, but if you have to train your brain. Your subconscious mind is like a tape recorder. It records what you do, and then when you're not like paying attention, it plays that back. Like when a certain situation happens, the way you react to that, your brain analyzes that and records it and says, okay, this is, especially when you do it multiple times, your brain goes, okay, this is what we do now. This is how we react to that situation. So if you constantly smoke to cope with something or to whatever your reason for smoking is, that's what you're always going to think to do every time something like that happens. Anytime some situation happens, you're going to instantly want to go smoke. And same thing with when you're withdrawing and trying to quit. Of course, you're going to have all these kind of thoughts that like, okay, I need to go smoke, and that's because of the way you're feeling. But there are other things that can make you feel better. Um, I realized that like serotonin and dopamine were not at the right levels because THC actually blocks those receptors. It fills them in even when they're not there. That's why you feel happy even when your brain's not making happy chemicals. It's why it's like a false sense of happiness. And when you don't have it, that's why when you don't have THC and you don't even have dopamine or serotonin either, because your brain's like, okay, we don't need to produce these anymore because this THC is coming in all the time. So when your brain stops producing those things, of course you're gonna get sad and upset and unhappy. The way around that, there are foods and medicines that can help you. There are natural remedies. Chocolate, cocoa, that is that has worked wonders for me. Every time I felt unhappy, I just kind of binged on chocolate, and it helps. Let me tell you, it really does. That and hydrate yourself. You have to detox. If you want it out of your system, you need to detox. I've been saying so. This is the most hydrated I've ever been, and I'm still pissing yellow. It's coming out yellow, which normally when I'm hydrated while I've been high, it just comes out clear. And I think that's because my body wasn't bothering to clear the THC out because it knows it's coming in all the time. Now my body's like, okay, we gotta flush this shit out. So my piss has been yellow because all that THC is coming out. Um, I don't really know what else to say. I guess I just wanted to let other people know my struggle and like that they're not alone. Uh, Give them some insight and kind of what I've gone through. I know I watched other people's videos on how they quit and stuff, and it was really inspirational to me. But I still didn't even quit until like a year later. Those videos didn't really do anything for me. It had to happen to myself. I had to make the decision on my own that I didn't want to be that anymore. I didn't want to have to rely on something. I didn't want to be dependent on a substance. I didn't want to have to wake up and do something. I didn't have to. I want to wake up and smoke to be able to feel okay. I wanted to take my life back and be me again, the real me, not the high me. Anyone has ever even known me in the past 5 years has only known the high me, and that's a totally different me. Being high took my confidence away. It took my motivation away. It took my happiness away. Now that I'm sober again, my confidence is back. My happiness is back. My motivation is back. I'm super driven to do something now. I actually want to do something with my life. That's the other thing is smoking makes you, what's the word, complacent? It makes you content. It makes you content in a situation that you otherwise would not be content in. Like, oh no, I'm bored and there's nothing to do. So I smoke weed. And oh, now I'm not bored anymore. Okay, I'm fine. And like that boredom is there every day. Whereas if I didn't smoke weed, I'd go, okay, I'm not happy being bored every day. So let me do something about that. Let me change that. Or like maybe I don't like my living situation. So I'd smoke weed and I'd be like, it's not that bad. But no, once you stop smoking, then you're like, okay, let me change this situation because obviously you don't have this like drug that's helping you cope with it anymore. You're not just content with it anymore. You're realizing you're not okay with that. Um, I guess that's really all I have to say. I mean, hopefully I helped someone. Hopefully you guys can take my advice. If you need to talk to someone, shoot me a comment, send me a message, whatever. I'm here. I'd be more than happy to give advice. Um, thanks for watching. Bye, everyone.